Welcome back to the F.I.R.E podcast. I'm your host, Slater Stelling. Alongside me here is my co-host, David Hinderliter. And we got another special guest for you here today. Some of you guys might know him. This is Dr. Souza. If you've listened to our podcast in the past, you would know a little bit more about him. He's kind of our mentor who we brought in as our first guest, now here as our second guest. He knows just about more about economics and finance and accounting and anything business related than anyone you're going to meet. He's got every designation possible. He's got a PhD. He's taught at most Bay Area schools. If not, he's been a student there. So he's got a lot of knowledge within the industry. And today we want to bring you a podcast about career development and student focused. And I'm going to pass it over to my co-host here to kind of run you down on our initial task.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to work with Dr. Souza pretty much throughout my college career, pretty much throughout the last 4 years. And not a lot of people are going to have a mentor like Dr. Souza. So I'm going to start off with my first question. For the people who don't have a mentor like you, how do you start building that resume? How do you start getting on track for these prestigious careers that seem kind of out of reach for a non-target school?
Yeah, it's really, really important. I mean, you go down to Stanford, they're on track once they're freshmen. They're on track. There's no problem with those guys getting jobs, okay, because they're on track. They know exactly what they're doing once they step onto the campus day one. I don't find that here, at St. Mary's or some of the other schools. I find people like yourself, that do that. What we need to do is we need to get everybody in SEBA on board day one, working towards their career. Okay, finding a mentor. The professors are great mentors. I'm more than happy to mentor anybody and everybody. But for me, what's really important is I can refer you to other people that can be your mentors. I don't have to be the only mentor. You need to find models. You need to find mentors. You need to continue to communicate with them, and you got to basically listen to what they say, and you need to execute based on their experiences. So it's really important to find someone who will work with you. I'm more than happy to work with any and all of you and get you on track as soon as possible and start working towards your career. I hate to see seniors going into their senior year starting the process. Juniors, that's cool. You got 2 years to basically work on it. That's how long it's going to take. You want to go to law school. You want to do an Ivy League. You want to go to the Big Four. You want to go to the top consulting companies. You want to do venture capital, investment banking, private equity. You got to be working on that day one as a sophomore or as a freshman.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about this before, getting freshmen and sophomores more involved. Obviously, back when you were in college, a little different scene. Some people just kind of went through the motions, senior year, still got a job. Some people I've talked to in industry didn't ever build a resume, and it kind of worked out for them. Obviously, that's not how it is now. So where does this mindset shift occur? When does it have to happen? How does it happen?
Yeah, it's got to happen as soon as possible. I did the calculation. Basically, when the students come in, either as freshmen or sophomore, they've been indoctrinated for about 16 years in the academic environment. So basically, they've been conditioned response. You can use B.F. Skinner, or you could use Maslow, or other psychologists and psychiatrists and people who have studied psychology. Basically, these students are trapped in an academic mindset. What we need to do is to snap them out of it and get them into an industry or an industrial or a commercial mindset, a corporate mindset, an institutional mindset as soon as possible. Your work that you produce in the academy is not to meet the academic requirements for a grade and the degree. Everything you do in the academy should be looked at as a product that's produced in industry. It is at that quality, and you start to build your portfolio. You look at your homeworks, you look at your projects as basically products that are going to be delivered to a senior level executive, an investment committee, a board of directors, a senior director, a vice president. somebody of that stature, you look at every single assignment as though you are working in a corporation and you're producing at that level. You will be able to produce a portfolio. And then if you can work with somebody like me or others that have projects that you can work on, or internships with projects that you can work on, not just doing stuff, but actually producing product that then you can add to your portfolio. You'll have a list of the projects that you worked on or the companies that you worked in, the value that you added within those positions, not just the tasks, but the value that you added, and you start pushing out the lifeguard stuff, you start pushing out the babysitting, you start pushing out the barista stuff, and you start building a resume that looks like somebody who worked for a management consulting firm. That's what you got to get to as soon as possible, and we got to break the mindset of these students and get them away from the academy and get them into an industrial mindset.
That's one of the things that me and you have talked about so much. A lot of these students are being indoctrinated, like you said, to produce academia, to produce academic work rather than institutional level work. And that's something that we are trying to break them out of, at least at St. Mary's College. One of the things that I've noticed is that students are lacking the ability to network. I feel like that's kind of the issue with our generation, that maybe your generation had a little bit of a head start on us. Do you notice any other areas where our generation needs to step up? And
yeah, and it's let's just put it in context. We were basically an analog, generation, right? We didn't grow up with cell phones and laptops and that kind of stuff. So when we networked, we had to go to the events, we had to go to the offices, we had to go to meet these people. That process of going to these events and networking has not gone away. It's actually more valuable now. The problem is me, and I'm just as guilty as you guys, is it's easy to be on a cell phone. It's easy to send a text. It's easy to send an email, although email's getting buried these days. It's better now to reach out via LinkedIn or to pick up a call and leave a message. So I think what we do is we do a hybrid. We use the technology to be able to reach out to people, to get to the phone call, to get to the Zoom call, to basically reach out to all of these organizations, either be Urban Land Institute or Commercial Real Estate Women or Financial Women of San Francisco, and go to the websites and find events to go to and go to those events. Everybody should have business cards. Everybody should have a polished resume. Everybody should be going to these events to be able to pitch themselves. Or if they're working, selling real estate or insurance or whatever, go to these events, pitch yourself, pitch your product, and start the process of the networking to basically do your own business development.
And I want to touch on something there, the kind of elevator pitch. One of the most important things with networking, you have your resume, you have your business card. How do you sell yourself?
Yeah, you just get the elevator pitch. We'll even train you on the elevator pitch. My name is Slater Stelling. I go to St. Mary's College. I study, I'm majoring both in accounting and in finance. I'm looking to get into insurance production. I'm also looking to get into commercial real estate. I'd love to be able to learn more about what you do within your company, how you got into the industry. Do you have 10 minutes to talk about it now? Maybe we can set up an appointment for a 20-minute call, or maybe a quick Zoom, or I'll come by your office and buy you a cup of coffee on your way to work. It's the number of touches that you do every single day. How many touches can I make? How many emails can I send out? How many LinkedIn posts can I post? How many texts can I send? How many people can I talk to? How many events can I go to? It's statistics. And the higher the statistics, the higher the outcome. I don't produce enough. You guys don't produce enough. It takes time to be able to get into that mindset. But I'll tell you right now, 5 years after the COVID, it's back. I'm going out. I drove an hour and a half this morning down to Campbell to meet with one of my colleagues, to network at one of her events. I came back up here. I'm going to be driving around, going to events. I got my business cards coming. I'm going to start giving them out. I'm going to collect business cards from these people. I'm going to start prospecting pretty heavily these days. And again, it's just statistics.
And I know you're super receptive to meeting with students, networking
Absolutely.
with students, but a lot of industry professionals, they're busy, they want no part of that. How do you say to work around that? Is it just getting more touches? What do you think?
Persistence. Oh, Dr. Souza referred me over to you. He said that he would be willing to talk to him for me for 10 minutes. You use other people like myself because I have the brand, right? I have the relationships. I'm going to send you to people that are receptive. I will also give you contact information of people I don't have relationships with, but I am members of the organization. They probably have seen me speak at conferences, and at luncheons and stuff like that. So by using somebody like me to get to those people, those are warm calls. Those are warm prospects. And then getting to those people and then being comfortable, respecting their time, and then asking for referrals. Try to get 3 people from each person that you meet. Is there somebody else I should be talking to? Do you mind if I use your name? Would you be willing to give me their information, or just tell me what their name and company again? I'll look it up, but if you don't mind, can I use your name? It's a sales pitch for yourself. But that sales pitch can be used to sell real estate, to sell insurance, to sell other stuff. You're just selling yourself. You're the product. It's the same process.
And I want to touch on the warm welcome again. If he hasn't sold it to you, we've got the privilege of talking to many CEOs, CFOs, CMOs, some of the most esteemed guys in industry in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's all the same thing. Cold calling doesn't exist. Cold welcomings, yeah, there's still something there. The warm welcome, that's what's going to get you responses. That's what's going to get you feedback. That's what's going to keep you going.
It's going to get you in to talk to them.
Exactly. So get your resume, get your elevator pitch, business cards, everything, but you have to focus on the networking first is what I took from that, and the warm welcomes.
And once you're prepared to do the networking, because you got to get your pitch down, you got to be ready, and then it's practice, practice, practice. And before you know it, after 50 attempts, you're going to have it totally down, and it's going to be really, really easy, and your response rates is just going to go through the roof.
Yeah, awesome. And again, I know we only have 2 or 3 minutes here, but you've touched on the resumes. A lot of students don't know how to build their resume at freshman level, at even senior level. So are there any designations? Are there any courses? Are there any things like that you would recommend right off the bat if you're a SIBO, or for those of you not out of the same area as a business student?
Yeah, first thing I would do, and I do that with all my students because they all have to hand in the resumes at least 3 times during the semester, is go to the Career Center. Have them help you put together a resume. Work with them first, and then work with me and Slater and David. These guys know exactly what I'm looking for in these resumes, which is value add metrics. What the sales, how many people, gross receipts, inventory turnover, inventory responsibility, dollar amounts. You put those things in your resume, you work with us, we'll coach you on how to put in those value add metrics. Your resume isn't going to be, these are the things that I did. It's going to be, this is the value that I added in that position, and that's going to get you the internship, and that's going to get you the job.
And along with these warm welcomes, the SIE costs $80. The real estate license costs a few $100. A lot of these designations and licenses you guys could get right now and get that warm welcome. You guys could get a foot in the door just by having those designations. So I think it's well worth your time to at least do the research, do the due diligence to see if this is a career that you're interested in, and if not, at least it shows that you have something on your resume.
Yeah.
So
and they can make money.
Exactly.
I mean, we have opportunities. We have marketing agreements in place, across the investment brokerage, the mortgage brokerage, and the investment advisory. You want to come work with us, we'll train you. We'll get you compensated through the marketing agreements. You get licensed, you'll get directly compensated from the companies. You'll make money as a sophomore.
The opportunity cost is a lot more than $80.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's right.
All right, as we're closing out here, thanks for tuning in to the F.I.R.E podcast. We want to give a big thank you to Dr. Souza. Feel free to reach out to myself or my co-host David anytime with any questions. We want to get you guys trained up. We want to help in any area we can, and please tune in next week. Thank you.
And Dr. Souza does pretty good on LinkedIn, so if you want to follow his blogs, if you
28,000.
Yeah. 28,000 followers, so make sure to look at his market updates, make sure to look at his blogs
Every
and
day.
follow him.
Every day.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.